boy, that whole week actually was really hard, you know?
Connie Britton looks back at her heartbreaking exit from the hit show Nashville.
I had a lot of explaining to do when the Magic Mike posters were out, and there was my airbrushed visage.
Matt Bomer had some explaining to do when his young kids first saw those Magic Mike posters.
Whatever happened to Mary Kay Letourneau's first husband?
How Steve Letourneau moved on after his wife's sex scandal with a student.
And Cher coming to Broadway?
You better believe it.
Do you believe in life after
Now on to this. When George and Amal Clooney introduced newborns Ella and Alexander to their paternal grandparents on Tuesday via a video phone call, George's dad, Nick, was immediately wowed. Nick Clooney telling People, "What I saw were these two perfect picture postcard babies." As Amal, who Nick describes as remarkable, held the twins in her arms while sitting up in her hospital bed, the new parents proudly shared sweet moments with Nick and George's mom, Nina, and George's older sister, Adelia, who lives nearby. Speaking to People from his home in Kentucky, Nick said Amal looked great. George looked more hairy than she did, and he added that the newborns are stunning with dark hair and lots of energy. And while the couple didn't reveal the twins' names to the family until after they were born, Nick loves the choices, tells People, "We didn't know until meeting the babies, but they're beautiful names, aren't they?" We agree. Until the elder Clooneys see the little ones in person, Nick is simply thrilled by their first meeting. In fact, he tells People, "It was perfect." That's the quote. Well, guys, whatever happened to the first husband that ex-teacher Mary Kay Letourneau left behind after it was discovered that she was having sex with her then 12-year-old student, Vili Falauau? Well, he exclusively tells People that he has moved on. In 1996, at the time of her affair, Letourneau was married to Steve Letourneau, who she met in college. They were raising their 4 children, and their marriage fell apart when her ex-husband found love letters that she wrote to Vili. A relative reported the situation to the school, and Mary Kay was arrested. Ultimately, she was sentenced to 7.5 years behind bars for child rape. Steve, who filed for divorce back in 1999, got full custody of him and Mary Kay's kids. He eventually remarried, had more children, and lives a quiet life in Alaska. Steve has rarely spoken out publicly and shies away from interviews, but he does tell People exclusively, quote, "I've moved on and I have nothing to say." Mary Kay was released from prison in 2004 and married Falauau in 2005. Steve and the Letourneau's kids have not commented on her surprise split last month from her former 6th grade student. Mary Kay's kids with ex-husband Steve have slowly re-entered her life since she was released from prison. One of her daughters was even her maid of honor at her nuptials with Falauau. One of her sons, who is not much younger than Vili, asked to move in with his mom at one point, and her other 2 children started visiting her regularly. Her 4 kids have also gotten to know their half-sisters. A friend of Vili spoke to People about their split, saying that she always wanted him to man up and take responsibility. Well, now switching gears to some very sad news here. A 4-year-old boy from Houston, Texas died of secondary drowning almost a week after his family took a swimming trip. Francisco Delgado Jr. told ABC 13 his family went swimming at the Texas City Dike with his son Frankie on Memorial Day weekend, but about a week later, Frankie complained of shoulder pain and woke up a few hours later. The father told the news outlet, quote, "Out of nowhere, he just woke up. He said, he took his last breath, and I didn't know what to do no more." And according to WSB TV, Frankie's mother, Tara, said paramedics explained what had happened to her son, saying, quote, "When she came in, she told us it's what's called dry drowning. His lungs were full of fluid. There was nothing else they could do for him." Such a tragic story. Our thoughts and prayers go out to that family for sure. Mako's with us this morning, and that is something I've heard about, but it's amazing. Like a week later, that could happen.
So sad.
Very scary, and something for parents to look out for there.
It's like meeting a high school sweetheart again. You get the same butterflies. It's cool.
Okay. It certainly is cool. That's Mel Gibson reuniting with the cast of Lethal Weapon in Hollywood last night. The star posed alongside his co-stars Danny Glover and Rene Russo, cracking jokes with reporters. Gibson and his co-stars gathered at the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences to honor their director Richard Donner, 30 years after the release of the first Lethal Weapon movie. And Gibson and Glover opened up about the impact Donner had on their careers. Watch this.
I worked with him 6 times. You don't keep going back to the, you know. I felt good doing it. He's truly a cool guy and great to work with and for.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I think it was like my 4th or 5th major role, and so I was in this process where Dick Donner was just the right person at the right time, you know, and the right person at the right time, and the hook up with Mel, it was the right moment, you know. I don't know if you can, those are the kind of things you can't even dream about. They just happen in a way, you know what I'm saying?
Believe this, Cher's life story is about to hit the Broadway stage. The singer confirmed on her Twitter page Tuesday that a biographical Broadway musical is coming to the Great White Way in 2018. And according to the New York Post, Jason Moore, the mastermind behind the popular Broadway musical Avenue Q, as well as Pitch Perfect, will direct the adaptation, which will be based on Cher's life and career. And of course, the musical will include songs drawn from Cher's greatest hits. The Grammy winner has been making headlines in recent weeks thanks to 2 show-stopping performances at this year's Billboard Music Awards, her first awards show in 15 years, where she also received the prestigious Icon Award. Man, I cannot wait for that musical. And those are your Star Tracks for today.
All right, guys, stay with us. Meet the hero who is helping others with Alzheimer's after losing his own wife to the disease. Plus, Salma Hayek tells me all about her very special secret talent. Stick around.
This is King Cutie in People. His Royal Highness Prince George Alexander Louis of Cambridge. These are George's parents, George's home, his Nana, the Queen, and his staff of 644 Englishmen. This is George's dog Lupo, who inspired his favorite book, The Adventures of the Royal Dog Lupo, one George will share now that he's a big brother. People. The details make the story. Don't miss this week's People.
Well, guys, Matt Bomer is starring in the upcoming Amazon show The Last Tycoon. It's set in the glitz and the glam of old Hollywood circa 1930s, but when he's not busy on the set, the actor is spending time with his husband Simon and their 3 sons. So when I recently sat down with Bomer, I asked him how his kids handle the spotlight, but more importantly, how they all handle those steamy Magic Mike posters. Watch this.
Thankfully, at this point in the game, they don't seem terribly interested in it. You know, they see marketing. I had a lot of explaining to do when the Magic Mike posters were out, and there was my airbrushed visage above them in some kind of pose, but...
Is there a reaction to that? Like, Dad, we've seen you with your shirt off, and that is not exactly right.
Well, the twins were quite young at the time.
Okay.
It was, you know, it was really viral marketing,
Yeah,
and
sure.
it was in our neighborhood, which is great. I just had to figure out a creative way to explain to them what was going on.
Yeah, right. No concept of this. You caught the acting bug at a young age. If one of your kids said, hey, I want to go in the same sort of line of work, what would your reaction to that be?
We have one who definitely likes to entertain and is very socially confident and has that vibe. I would encourage them to do it at school and in safe environments where they can really explore the material in a way that's not just for public consumption, and then maybe when they're 18, if that's a choice they want to make, they can make that choice.
Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense.
I remember going to my mom. I was cold calling agents when I was like 9 years old.
Okay, so this was going to happen. Right?
And I was like, Mom, I need this thing called a headshot. And she was like, what are you talking? Go outside and play.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad she did that, because Lord knows where I'd be if I'd been a 10-year-old actor.
This is Jennifer Lawrence in People. This is Jennifer photobombing Taylor Swift, and Sarah Jessica Parker and Liam Hemsworth, proving that while we all love the fashion of the red carpet, it's people who steal the show. People. The details make the story.
You learned a little bit about the organization there in that video. Now Kevin Jameson joins us live. Welcome, Kevin. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So to kind of step back a little bit, you started this organization after seeing your wife Jenny go through dementia and ultimately passing away in 2014. When you look back, even at that video and that period of time and what you went through, what sticks out the most to you?
Love.
Yeah.
It still really hits me to see that again. And, you know, it's just important to know that she was a very vivacious woman. And so, you know, she was vivacious, you know, really throughout her life, even up until the end. So even though she couldn't communicate the same way that she might have been able to in years past, you know, we still knew each other in ways that only a husband and wife would know each other after all the years we've been together.
Yeah, sure. Certainly good memories there. It's obviously tough to lose a loved one. You want to do what you can, though, to help others not face the same loss, or at least help them through these types of things. You started the Dementia Society of America. What has the response been from people that you've helped that have been going through this?
Yeah, a lot of light bulbs go on. I mean, when you talk to people, whether it's in a group or one-on-one session or just over the phone, or through email, you explain something to somebody about what dementia is and what it isn't, and all of a sudden they feel a couple different things. One, they feel more confident and less scared about dementia. That's number one. They also learn all the different types of dementia. A lot of people think it's all Alzheimer's when it's really Alzheimer's and maybe 9 or 10 other major forms.
Wow.
So, you know,
it's a complex thing.
It's complex, but talking about it, people go, wow, if only I'd known. And that makes me feel great.
So that is now part of your mission, to make sure people do know and can have that information. You run the 24-hour hotline for this organization as well, talking to families and people who are impacted by dementia. Are there any stories specifically of people that have really stood out to you?
Oh yeah, I mean, there are people. We had a gentleman call from, we get a lot of calls from kind of middle America as well. And this gentleman was telling me about how he lost his business. And while I was talking to him, I went and looked at Google Earth and checked out his street address. And I saw what the business was because his yard was filled with trucks.
Oh, wow.
And it was a well-known business, kind of a franchise business. And I could hear in his voice that he felt like, you know, I've lost everything because of this, you know, and I just, you know, I wanted to help him in so many ways, you know, to get him in front of a good elder care attorney, to get him a good workup with a neurologist, and so we, you know, we get information to people and we kind of talk them and we point them in the right direction.
Right, and so as we were just talking before, it's hard to talk to anyone who hasn't in some ways been affected by some form of dementia, some family member, someone that they know. What is something that people can do who are watching now? They want to get involved, they want to support this cause. What can they do?
Well, they can do a lot of different things. They can go to our website, which is dementiasociety.org. They can call us at 844-DEMENTIA. They can do a lot of things to kind of directly connect to us. But most importantly, even if they don't connect with us or get resources from us, they can talk to their loved ones. They can be open, they can be honest. They can talk about what dementia and the forms of dementia that have impacted their lives, maybe their grandparents, their loved ones, their mother, father, wife, son.
Sure.
We had a 90-year-old woman with a 70-year-old daughter who had dementia.
Wow.
So, you know, you end up and you have early onset forms.
So all these different kinds of things that come up, and so yeah, we hope that people will take this and support and know about you, and you're continuing your wife's legacy, and it's just good work that you're doing. We really appreciate you sharing with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And guys, of course, as we said, for more information, please visit www.dementiasociety.org. Has this almost supernatural ability to read people, right? She's got this, has insight, she can feel it. Are you really good at reading people? Is it something that you have a knack for in real life?
You know, sometimes better than others, but I do have the ability to sometimes experience someone else's pain.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there a time?
Maybe not exactly the same, but it does affect me.
Is there a time that's happened specifically that's been like a real moment for you in your life?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna tell you about
Ooh,
it.
okay. I'm scared to know now.
Yeah.
Thank you for sparing me.
A couple of times it scared me.
And did it affect like a decision you would make, that kind of thing? Is that the sense?
It affects a little bit the way you see the world. And it definitely creates a higher sense of empathy.
Wow, can you say mind blown? Who would have thought that Salma Hayek has special abilities like that? I spoke to Salma while she was promoting her new film, Beatriz, at dinner. I also sat down with Selma's co-star in the movie, Connie Britton, who we all know and love from Nashville. Spoiler alert here, fans and me. still reeling from her death on that hit show. So I had to fanboy out a little bit and ask Connie what it was like filming that heartbreaking scene from Nashville. Watch.
It was really hard.
Yeah.
Boy, that whole week actually was really hard, you know. I miss the people who surround her. I miss all those people that I used to work with who I love so much. And I still get to talk to. You know, and I miss the music.
Yeah.
You know, it was all about the music.
You still a country girl at heart? Is that what we're going to hear on your iPod if you're just hanging around on set somewhere?
True confession, I've actually never been a country girl at
Okay.
heart.
All right.
I'm more a country girl now than I was, but because I've learned so much about the music and I really learned to appreciate it. But there might be some rock and roll in there too.
I had gotten my makeup done at like 8 a.m. even though the Grammys were like at 6 because that's when we could do it. And then I went over to Drew's house because we were all traveling together, and there was 2 vans, and we got in, and then we were like about to close the door, and I heard everyone screaming in the van behind, and I was like, no, no. We were like, why are they screaming? And we get out, and they're like, we got the Grammy. So then I was like, fully trying, I was sobbing, but trying to like push tears back into my eyes.
Up there.
Yeah, but it was crazy. I could not stop crying because I don't think I had ever actually thought it was gonna happen. Like I hadn't gone there in my head, so it was such a shock, and it was so cool. Like obviously they're my friends, so it's amazing to share it with your friends and to be with them at the time. It was the best.
Yeah, such a cool moment. That singer-songwriter Emily Warren on her epic Grammys win for co-writing the Chainsmokers smash hit, Don't Let Me Down. Now, Emily is currently on tour with the group. It's our Toyota People Pick of the Day. She also has some new music out of her own. In fact, she did a little acoustic number for us in our studio. We'll be showing you that in just a little bit. But I asked Emily about the criticisms the Chainsmokers have faced. Plus, I also asked her about working with rising star Noah Cyrus. Watch.
There was a moment actually when Tour started, the album had just come out and it was kind of getting slammed by critics, where there was a moment where it was kind of, it's hard to see that so many times and not get beat down by it, but then the album did really well, and as far as you can tell when you're out on stage, like people love it. So I think that turned around pretty quickly, and they're now using it to write more music. So you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt, I think. And criticism is a funny thing from critics, because it's like, when I tell some people, oh, the album's getting terrible reviews, they're like, huh?
Right.
Like they didn't even know. People would be surprised to know how kind they are and how they're really good people. I think that they're painted kind of differently because of Selfie and because of like how media has kind of twisted them into like frat bros. But they're sick, and honestly, like the thought that goes into what they're creating, I've learned so much from.
You wrote Stay Together for Noah Cyrus.
She's just like the coolest girl. I like so intensely believe in her, and her voice just has so much raw emotion. Like I really think she could just sing anything. And
she's really incredible. The family unit is obviously there.
yeah, I was saying that Tish is a huge reason that Stay Together ended up being the single, or that Noah was even involved in that song, because she was always like, it's the best. Like, thank you, Tish.
Does Miley ever weigh in at all on any of that stuff?
Not as far as I know.
Yeah.
But actually, Tish, I think, is on the song too. If I remember correctly, we all like went into the booth and did gang vocals, and she was there.
She has so much going on,
Yes,
so much
she
good
does.
music surrounding her.
Yeah.
Guys, let's check in with Facebook Live one more time. We can't get enough of the CMT Awards, so we want to know, the CMT Music Awards, we want to know what's your favorite country song. Lots of people chiming in here. Go ahead, Mako.
All right, so Yvonne says Blue Angel Color by Keith Urban.
Okay. Susan says I'll See You Again by Carrie Underwood.
All right, and speaking of Keith, Stacy says Keith Urban is so talented, and I want a Keith and Nicole duet. She has a beautiful voice as well. I did not know that. Nicole sings as well.
She does. She's got a very beautiful voice. Keith has cool tats. I love him for that as well. Lana says Remember When by Lana Jackson, and Laura says her favorite country song is also her least favorite country pest, Ticks by the excellent, as she calls him, Brad Paisley. Do you have a favorite?
I sure do, and I'm almost ashamed to say it.
Go ahead.
It's Gretchen Wilson, Redneck Woman.
I'm a redneck woman. Mine's Barbecue Stain, Tim McGraw. Barbecue stain on my white t-shirt. Killing me in that miniskirt. Anyway.
Look at the two of us, so cool. cool.
We will continue singing after this to spare you any more of any of this. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to catch us again tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Niecy Nash has given us all the details on her new series, Claws, plus SI swimsuit cover model Kate Upton shares the 5 reasons she swoons over her dog, Harley.
Thanks so much for watching. And for now, we leave you with Emily Warren's acoustic performance of her new single, Hurt by You.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Emily Warren, and this is my new single, Hurt by You. Yeah. See this where you walk down the hallway. I try to stop you, but you don't wait. It's exactly what I was afraid of. You don't love me anymore. And I know the part where you say you're unfaithful, sitting at the kitchen table. In that moment in between I love and then I hate you. I'm not sure why that isn't stopping me. So come sweep me off my feet, 'cause I wanna give you all that I got, and I wanna believe we'll defy all the odds. And I hope you don't hurt me, but oh, if you do, it would be worth getting hurt by you. Everybody's got their own opinion, and I hate it but admit it. It's naive to think that you and I are somehow different from anyone else. And I give myself but only give him fractions. This is not what I imagined. Gotta put myself out on the line and see what happens before I give up. But that isn't stopping me. So come sweep me off my feet, 'cause I wanna give you all that I got, and I wanna believe we'll defy all the odds. And I hope you don't hurt me, but oh, if you do, it would be worth getting hurt by you. Whoa, I could wonder, will our love survive? Oh, but what a waste of time. I wanna give you all that I got, and I wanna believe we'll defy all the odds. And I hope you don't hurt me,